Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Charlie Fibrosis, and I am back with a new video. Sorry that my voice sounds a little bit weird. I just woke up, not even about 40 minutes ago. Yeah, let's kind of get into what I want to talk about today. So, last night, the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series, it still is taking me a long time to get used to that name, headed to Eldora Speedway in nearby Rossburg, Ohio. I've never been there before, but last night that changed. Found out that Rossburg is only about just a little under 2 hours away. It's actually not that bad of a drive. Lots of state routes to drive on when you get closer to the racetrack. Um, So that was pretty nice, like just a lot of straight line driving and not really having to worry about too much. Very interesting sights to see along the way as well. The facility, really nice. It's your local dirt track with a little bit of extra money thrown into it to make some improvements. But it's not bad. Like there's no bad seat anywhere in the house, depending on how dirty you want to get. But in terms of the race, like, pretty good all in all. So, to kind of tell you what we did there, so this was an event that was planned about 2 weeks prior, um, with school starting up for my younger siblings, and because I work in the education sector in IT, um, it's going to get really, really busy for me. And I feel that with certain situations and everything like that, that more than anything, this would be a great last hurrah to end the summer. July Kentucky race, that was intended more for my siblings than it was for me, even though that I had fun and everything. And in regards to the Saturday Kentucky race for the Cup division, that was really more so to just meet up with a friend that I've known for a long time, and really nice to take my dad to. This was a combination of a last hurrah for the summer and a little bit of exploration. We've never been to Eldora before, and I figured more than anything, especially with this being the Mud Summer Classic or whatever you want to call it, or the Derby, it would be worthy to go ahead and check it out and see what the Truck Series can do, because they put on a pretty good show since they started hosting it back in 2013, I believe. So yeah, um, so let's talk a little bit about the race, and then I'll go into some of the stuff that I got as well. So in regards to the race, and I'll have video clips and footage here at the end of the video, but with the race itself, so they ran five preliminary heats and whatnot. Chase Briscoe was fast. Actually, all the Thor Sport trucks were pretty fast, minus Johnny Sauter. Um, but yeah, Rhodes was pretty quick. I loved his paint scheme, by the way, for as minor of a difference that the paint scheme was. I really, really loved the Rhodes truck. Um, Chase Briscoe, I actually forgot that last season he was technically racing for Thorsport. I thought he was running for like a small dirt track team or whatever that managed to build him a super fast truck. No, it was Thorsport. And the same thing was the case last night. Very interesting paint scheme, and I mean that in a good way. Um, but the biggest thing is, and this kind of goes for a lot of the cases, especially with the dirt races, is that more than anything, a lot of unknown drivers. I actually do have, I think, the starting sheet in the program here, which is one of the things I got. So let me see if I can be able to find it here. Yeah, so So here are some of the drivers from last night. So we have Briscoe, Matt Crafton, Brett Moffitt, Stuart Friesen, Sheldon Creed, Johnny Sauter, Tyler Dipple, who I've never really heard of before, in the O2 car, Todd Gilliland, Ben Rhodes, Kyle Strickler, the outside tickler, they kept calling him all night, Jeffrey Abbey, Christian Eckes, Mike Marlar, Justin Shipley, Grant Infinger, Harrison Burton, Ross Chastain, Jake Griffin, Austin Hill, Gus Dean, Austin Wayne Self, Tyler Ankrum, Carson Cavea, Mark Smith, Mason Massey IV, Colt Gilliam, Landon Huffman, Devin Dodson, Norm Benning, Tim Ward, Jennifer Jo Cobb, and Darwin Peters Jr. A good majority of these drivers, I have no idea who they are. Even though I think it was more split up like half and half by regular season drivers and specifically dirt drivers that I had heard of before. Also, just to state this as well, they also had a race in between the heats and the actual truck race, which was the Big Block Invitational, and a big win for Dave Blaney in the number 10 car. Unfortunately, I missed out on the race because I got up and wanted to move around, so I missed the entirety of that event. But congrats to Dave. I know that Dave still races in the Dirt Series usually, and still runs fairly well there. But yeah, good night for Dave Blaney at Eldora. Good job for him. So let's talk about the race. Well, if I had to sum it up, looked like Chase Briscoe was gonna get this one right in the bag, and get the big win at Eldora and be the first driver to ever have 2 wins at Eldora. I didn't realize this, but at this time in 2019, no driver has ever won the Dirt Derby twice. And no one's ever won it back to back either. So, yeah. Briscoe, all set up. He's leading. He wins stage 1. He wins stage 2. And then, all of a sudden, at the end of stage 2, pit stops occur. Briscoe dives into the pits, gets his service, gets back out. This puts Stuart Friesen, I think, in the lead or near the lead. And then some bad stuff happens. So they're going down into turns 1 and 2. They go out, they go down the backstretch. Someone, I think, spun. Where we were seated, you can't really even get super high up on the racetrack. Like, you can't see over towards the backstretch all that well. When you say seated rather close, I think if you stood up near where the main entrance was and everything like that, you could be able to see it better, or at least in the turn. But there was a spin. Big group of trucks got collected. Chase Briscoe, driver's side perfectly fine. Passenger side looked like a crushed up beer can. There were other trucks that were beat all to hell. I think the 22 was beat up. The 22, I think, ran into issues with its engine. The 18 truck of Harrison Burton, he had damage. He had damage earlier to like the rear quarter panel on the passenger side, and then eventually finished the race without a hood. Johnny Sauter got his rear end torn up. There was just a lot of beat up race trucks. I think the 32 or something like that had its fender actually like bent out or ripped out and then bent, and it was pointing out like a dagger to the rest of the racetrack. So I was actually surprised that in the case of, I think, the 32, and the case of Johnny Sauter with the 13, because he had the bumper cover torn in half, I'm surprised that NASCAR didn't black flag either of those drivers for pieces of sheet metal that technically someone could have run into and damaged the truck more. but a lot of crunched race cars. You guys will get to see the footage here at the end. So, try as he might, Chase Briscoe charges up. He gets as high as third, and then I think he spun out in front of Ben Rhodes, and he just dropped back again. And then try as he might, he did work his way up a little bit, but he was nowhere near as close to getting up to the lead as he was. And by the end of the night, the big story was that Stuart Friesen had not pitted whatsoever in this truck race. He did not pit for tires, he did not pit for fuel, he did not do anything in terms of service, and he wins the event. Now, I do have a little bit of a criticism here, and this is something I've criticized NASCAR a little bit in the past more as well. So, with how they have these races set up usually, is that their intention is they want this race, when a caution comes out near the end, to have a green-white checker finish. And that bothers me because, okay, so near the end of the race, there was a piece of debris that probably fell off one of the trucks as they were running under caution, so I give them a little bit of a break for that. But there was so many times, like within the last 30 laps, I think, where NASCAR kept pushing on the caution longer and longer and longer. And the problem that I have with that is that if the track is clear and ready to go, then you're just wasting laps. And I would much rather see something of a 10-lap shootout than a 3-lap shootout. Now, a 3-lap shootout can be exciting, but here's the thing, though. Let's take Talladega, for example. So, the green flag waves, and it takes you about a full lap to get the car up to speed. Okay? That's one part of it. By lap 2, you're now ready to make some moves, if you have the drafting help. Lap 3, you just gotta go with what you've got and make some final moves there. But you still have that whole lap of wind-up that you lose out on for potential racing. I don't know how Eldora drives for the trucks, like in real life. I don't know how it feels to run that. But they just kept burning through so many laps under caution. I mean, they don't count caution laps when the pit service is done, because they shut the engines off and whatnot. And they take like maybe a 15-minute break almost to get service done and whatnot. Kind of reminds me of, from what I've read of the original truck series back in like 1995. And then I think they did a little bit of preliminary exhibition stuff in 94 as well. But they would pause the race in the middle of the event, have like 15 minutes to like cool down, get service, whatnot, and then go back on to the racetrack, and there you go. That was the race. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, which is actually kind of cool. But I do wish that the way that it went, and I also kind of mentioned this, the whole lap thing, also due to Kentucky as well, because for the Cup race, they just ran it down until there was 3 laps to go. And maybe that's a more exciting finish, which is probably what NASCAR wants, rather than a 10-lap shootout and the driver in front pulls away with it. But yeah, without a doubt, very kind of frustrating personally. So, Stuart Friesen gets the big win at Eldora. I'll go ahead and run through the standings real quick. Alright, let's go through the final standings. So Stuart Friesen gets the big win. Sheldon Creed finishes second. Grant Enfinger finishes third. Mike Marlar finishes fourth. Todd Gilliland finishes fifth. Christian Eckes finishes sixth. Chase Briscoe seventh. Tyler Dibble eighth. Tyler Ankrum ninth. Matt Crafton 10th. Justin Shipley 11th. Ross Chastain 12th. Austin Wayne Self 13th. 14th Ben Rhodes. 15th Mark Smith. 16th Tim Ward. 17th Darwin Peters Jr. 18th Kyle Strickler. 19th Jennifer Joe Cobb. 20th Justin Abbey. 21st, Johnny Sauter. 22nd, Norm Benning. 23rd, Mason Massey. 24th, Landon Huffman. 25th, Carson Coeverson. Sorry. 26th, Jake Griffin. 27th, Colt Gilliam. 28th, Gus Dean. 29th, Brent Moffitt. 30th, Devin Dodson. 31st, Harrison Burton. 32nd, Austin Hill. I'm wondering something. Oh, okay. Chase Briscoe finished 7th. That's right. I don't know why my brain lapsed over and thought that he may have gotten DNF. Anyway, so yeah. All in all, I enjoyed it. I will certainly say that, because this is a Thursday night event, the drive home was not bad, actually, getting out of traffic and everything like that. It's just a long trip back home. I don't think we got home until about 12:58 last night. This morning, technically. So, a very, very, very long drive back home. But not really all that challenging. My dad was kind enough to go ahead and drive us. I did the drive up, he did the drive back. So, we got back home at a reasonable time. Much better than I think I would have managed. But, more than anything, a lot of dirt. Oh my God, we were covered head to toe in dirt. So, long night of cleaning as well. Still stuff that we got to clean from last night. But anyway, so, all in all, I honestly, like I said, I've never been to Eldora, and I'm glad that I got to experience it. I don't know if I'd really want to go back exactly just because of the distance. It's not really bad in terms of timing, but I think also in the fact that with it being a Thursday event and possibly, I would say maybe sprint cars, most likely went on Friday night or Saturday night. I could see like leaving here in my area and driving up, being able to make it in just a few hours, but for something along the lines of this, with a big truck race that happens in the middle of the week, probably won't do it again. But it was very great to get to experience it for the first time, and it makes me somewhat interested for the other events going on later on. So let's talk about some merch that I got. So I actually got 2 programs. This one was salvaged from just getting destroyed due to the dirt and everything like that. And then one was more of a communal one that I shared between my dad and my brothers. As you guys can tell, got a new shirt as well. A simple blue Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio shirt. There's that. I do apologize that the green screen went a little funky there for a moment. Got a Eldora Speedway hat. So, a little tight. But, I got a hat. In addition, this was kind of interesting. So, I know that Lawrenceburg in Indiana, which is like 34 minutes away from me, sells sprint cars as well. I did ask if they had any Steve Kinzer. They did not, which stinks. Kinzer was one of my favorite drivers in the Wood of Outlaws sprint car division. But I did get some other stuff. So I've actually slowly built a old school wall on this side of my futon. And I got a new collection added, a new car added, Ernie Irvin from, I think, when he won the Daytona 500. So, pretty nice, actually. I've been putting these, like, just pinned underneath my DVDs and whatnot. And it's really, it's building. I think it's about done anyway. And then this was just an interesting find because I didn't expect to see it. I didn't even know that this existed, actually. So, back in 2007, I met Todd Cleveland. I think I've talked about this in the past before. And weirdly enough, for $4, they have an old Team Caliber '06, and it says right on the roof rail, Todd Cleveland. Kind of blows my mind, actually. So, yeah, like this car is, I guess, a batch car or something like that. Just didn't sell well, or maybe someone had an abundance of them, or maybe they were like old promotional stuff and they got sold off in like an auction or whatever, and it was bought in bulk and is being flipped around for selling. I don't know. I don't even know how someone comes into possession of that. But yeah, got that. Also, one last thing, and then we'll get into the race footage that I took over the course of the night. The last thing I wanted to talk about was this. So, one thing that they offered for the fans was you could be able to do the iRacing simulator. Makes sense. But you got to race that Eldora, and they had two of them. One was a regular seat, little monitor, throttle, brake, which was wired interestingly because it's just like two little pipes, two little metal bars that you press your feet down on for gas and brake respectively. There is no gas pedal, it's a gas bar that you're putting your foot down on. And I guess that's what they use for like the sprint cars to keep them light and everything like that, is they just don't use traditional pedals. Anyway, point being is, so they had one with static screen, just a flat monitor, and then they had another one. And this one was more interesting because it was VR capable, VR compatible. So they had VR goggles set up, um, $5 per person, not too bad actually. And you got to race around Eldora. Someone managed to set a time of like a 13.762 or something like that, and that was the top of the leaderboard. I honestly figured that I wouldn't be able to beat it, but I would at least try. So put the VR goggles on. That was a little disorienting at first, but I figured, you know what? I know how to drive a race car virtually usually, and as long as I keep my wits about me and keep my mind knowing where I'm supposed to go, I think I can do this. I think I can get a decent time. I think I set a lap time of like 14.343 or something like that. And then my brother, Grant, who you've seen race a couple of times in the past, he set a pretty close, if not slightly better time. I kind of wish that they told you what the lap time was, or your best lap time, after you were done, and maybe put it up on the board or whatever the case may be. But anyway, it is what it is. So $5 to race around Eldora virtually. Got to use a VR headset for like the second time in my life. I think maybe going into the future, should I get my own place and everything like that, I may want to go ahead and do the VR setup because my GPU is VR ready. But yeah. So, alright guys, that's about it for the race recap and the talk in regards to that. A lot of dust, a lot of dirt, but I had a lot of fun too. A little disappointed in terms of the finish, but congratulations to Stuart Friesen on the big win in Rossburg, Ohio last night, and on to the track footage. So thank you all for watching and enjoy the last little bit of all the footage that I captured from the race last night. See you guys soon.
two in the books. Matt Crampton hanging on for the win. Here's now the top
Brett Moffitt electing to start from the top side here in qualifying heat number 3. Todd Gilliland to the inside. That beautiful Ford Raptor pace truck makes the hard left turn as we come to green here in heat race number 3. Inside as we wait for the Ford Raptor pace truck to make that hard left turn. There we go. Pace truck on pit road. Brett Moffitt bringing the field back to green. Picking up third. Todd Gilliland coming across the stripe in second, and your winner in qualifying heat race number 3. There he is. qualifying race number 5, Timmy Ward coming across the stripe in 5th. Gus Dean, your 4th place finisher. Grant Enfinger coming home in 3rd. Sheldon Creed coming home in 2nd. And there you have it, folks, your winner, the high side tickler. Austin Self had a tough heat race here earlier this evening. Let's see if he can rectify that by picking up the win here in the last chance race. 4-round pace truck down on pit road. based on that finish, he will start in the, I believe, 27th position. Everybody else on back will rely on their owner's points. Why don't we go ahead and take you through the top 5 there. Darwin Peters Jr. coming home in 5th. Jennifer Jo Cobb was your 4th place finisher. Mason Massey finishing 3rd. Norm Benning coming across the stripe in 2nd. And Tyler Ankrum picking up the checkered flag in our 15th place.
That means all the preliminary racing action for the night is in the
battle in the 150 lap Eldora Dirt Derby. He's going to start 25th tonight, driving the number 08 Country AF Radio Toyota out of Harcourt, Iowa. How about it, folks, for Tim Ward? Your 24th place starter tonight in the number 38 Selinsgrove Speedway Mockwood Chassis Chevrolet comes to us out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Let's hear it for Mike Smith. Our 23rd starter in the number 33 Smith-Built Homes Toyota out of Woodfield, Tennessee. We've seen him here at Eldora Speedway lots of times. Let's hear it for Mike Marler. He drives the number 20 K&L Ready-Mix Chevrolet out of Claremont, North Carolina. Let's hear it, race fans, for Landon Huffman. Our 21st place starter tonight in the number 44 Nice Equipment Chevrolet comes to us out of Comanche, Texas. Let's hear it for Jeffrey Abbey. Our 20th place starter tonight comes to us out of Bluffton, South Carolina. He drives the number 12 OverkillRV.com Chevrolet. Let's hear it for Gus Gee. Our 19th place starter drives the number 16 United Rentals Toyota. He's out of Winston, Georgia. He picked up the win earlier this season at Daytona. How about it for Austin Hill? Our 18th place starter drives the number 03 ClaimCrawfordFoundation.org Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Quincy, Illinois. Let's hear it for Jake Griffin. Our 17th place starter tonight in the number 51 Mobil 1 Toyota comes to us out of Middletown, New York. Let's hear it for Christian Eckes. Starting 16th this evening in the number 8 Business Machines Company and Coupon Grading Company Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, making his Truck Series debut. Let's hear it for Colt Gilliam. Our 15th place starter tonight drives the number 98 Champion Power Equipment Ford out of Fairhope, Alabama. Last year he came 8 inches from winning this one. Let's hear it for Grant Enfinger. He starts 14th tonight. He's in the number 80 Rogers Ford. He comes to us out of Douglasville, Georgia. He's got his family with him here. Let's hear it for Justin Shipley. Starting 13th tonight, making his Gander Truck Series debut in the number 3 Scott's GM Parts Now Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Portage, Michigan. Let's hear it for 16-year-old Carson Hocevar. Our 12th place starter in the number 45 Jack Hewitt Tribute Chevrolet is the hottest driver in the Gander Truck Series right now. He comes to us out of Alabama, Florida. Let's hear it for the Waterman, Ross Chastain. Our 11th place starter in the number 18 Safe Light Auto Glass Toyota comes to us out of Huntersville, North Carolina. He's got a recognizable name, folks. Let's hear it for Harrison Burton. He starts 10th tonight in the number 2 Chevrolet Accessories Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Alpine, California. He's the defending ARCA Menard Series National Champion. Let's hear it for Sheldon Creed. Starting 9th tonight in the number 99, the Haviland Ford. Colors made famous by Davey Allison. He drives for Thor Sport Racing, located in nearby Sandusky, Ohio. He comes to us out of Louisville, Kentucky. Let's hear it for Ben Rhodes. Our 8th place starter tonight in the number 4 JBL Audio Sirius XM Toyota comes to us out of Sherrillsport, North Carolina. Let's hear it for Todd Gilliland. place starter drives the number 02 Jersey Filmmaker Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Wallkill, New York. Let's hear it for Tyler Dipple. Starting 6th tonight, noted dirt track expert out of Nacita, Wisconsin, driving the 10-to-heel Ford. Let's hear it for Johnny Sauter. Starting 5th in the number 54 DGR Crossley Toyota comes to us out of Mooresville, North Carolina. He's been in victory lane here before at Eldora Speedway. How about a racing match for the high side pickler, Kyle Strickler? Our 4th place starter tonight drives the number 52 Almar Friesen Racing Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Niagara on the Lake Ontario. How about it for Stuart Friesen? Our 3rd place starter tonight drives the number 24 Arlen Graphics Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Grant Grimes, Iowa. He's the defending Gander Truck Series champion. Let's hear it for Brad Moffitt. And now your front row starters. He drives the number 88 Ideal Door Menards Ford. He comes to us out of Tulare, California. He's a 2-time NASCAR Gander Truck Series champion and the 2017 winner here on the Eldora Dirt Derby. How about it, race fans, for Matt Crafton? And now your pole sitter in the number 27 Dia Edge Ford. He comes to us out of Mitchell, Indiana. He picked up a big NASCAR Xfinity Series win at Iowa Speedway. He's the defending winner here at Eldora Speedway. Let's hear it for Chase Briscoe. Our 32nd starter tonight drives the number 22 Go Texan AM Technical Solutions Chevrolet out of Austin, Texas. Let's hear it for Austin Self. Our 31st place starter tonight drives the number 32 Rayo Brothers Racing Chevrolet out of Bishopville, Maryland. Let's hear it for Devin Doxson. Starting 30th tonight in the number 74 J.R. Peters Roadside Auto Chevrolet out of Oakland, New York. Let's hear it for Darwin Peters Jr. Your 29th place starter tonight drives the number 10 Driven to Honor Chevrolet. She comes to us out of Kansas City, Kansas. Let's hear it, race fans, for the only female in the lineup tonight, Jennifer Jo Cobb. Our 28th place starter tonight drives the number 34, the Challenge Book Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Douglasville, Georgia. Let's hear it, fans, for Mason Massey. And our next driver in the starting lineup drives the number 6 H&H Transport Chevrolet. He comes to us out of Level Green, North Carolina. The Eldora Darling Racers.
Sorry.
We're all right. Good luck tonight. And our final driver in the starting lineup picked up the win in that 15-lap last chance race. He drives the number 17 DJR Crossley Driver Development Toyota out of San Bernardino, California. It's Tyler April. All right, make some noise for all 32 drivers on the count of 3, 2, 1, let's
Hey, this is Sam with Salad Juice called me. Yeah. Okay, I'll just see if you need something.
Let's make some noise.
No worries, all good.
Inside Continental, and the 40 is outside. 99 machine on that road lineup night. And 10th place starter tonight with the number 2 truck for Showing Green. And what an opportunity this is to have NASCAR right here in Eldora County. You would have thought when this track was built so many years ago that the stars and cars of the NASCAR racetrack. My Ford Performance will make that turn into the pit area. As your front two, Briscoe and Friesen lead the field back to green here at stage 2 of the Eldora. visited pit road once. This entire race, the only driver to be on the track rather, the entire time. Ford Racer makes the hard left-hand turn, coming to the green with 25 to go in the Eldora Derby. Two-lap shootout. Get on your feet, race fans. Let's send them off in style.